We're live! There it is. Welcome to Speculation Sunday on a Monday. We got Just Ask Danny in the house. Danny, how are you doing? How was your weekend? Give us the rundown, man. You got any content, anything on the horizon? Let us know.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week. I actually was moving, so that took up like most of my time. But then I took a break to do Demi's closet sale, which took up a good chunk of my day. And then I also went to opening night with you to FanFest nights, which we'll talk about. And I do have a video from that night coming out tomorrow.
Hell yeah. FanFest nights, I feel like, has taken over the internet. At least for me personally, it's been wild. It's been wild. The coverage on FanFest has been nuts. For Demi's cell, I just want to get your opinion. How did it go, man? That's been on my feed a lot lately too.
It was good. Sale was very well put together. Demi did a great job. She did a good job last time. Noah was doing an excellent job helping, as the kind of the MC of the event. He was doing a lot of announcements. He was doing giveaways while people were waiting. The only bummer was it was raining, but Demi can't really control the weather. But they did the best they could with tents and things like that. So it was cool. That seems like they had a lot of great stuff. I got a few good things, and I know Coco got a lot of things. Hey, it was fun to just be there and be a part of it.
Laurie says she talked to you.
Come support. Nice chatting with you in line for the restroom. Oh yeah. I remember.
Oh man, Demi's cell, I feel like it's just getting bigger and bigger. This is the second year running, so shout out to Demi. All I see is nothing but good things came out of that event. A lot of happy people. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining on this beautiful Monday. Usually we do these on a Sunday, but today we are live on Monday. All right. What was the event? What company? The company is just Demi. It's Demi's closet.
It's just Demi. Demi's closet. She's she has a bunch of stuff she was selling that she doesn't use anymore, or maybe that was PR, things like that. She was just selling extra things, and I don't think it was all necessarily her stuff. There was also stuff too from like Trevor and maybe even her family, So it was a bunch of stuff. Someone asked if I had new glasses. I actually, believe it or not, Mondo, I damaged my clear glasses in the move.
Oh, man.
I'm wearing my old glasses, which I like better, actually, anyway. So eventually I'll get my glasses fixed. And maybe I'll get those repaired or whatnot, see how much it costs to get those repaired. But I prefer these anyway. I wish I could just put my frames back in my lenses back in these frames, because the clear ones, these are Ray-Ban. The clear ones are Nike. They're the worst glasses I've ever had. The Nike ones have cracked 3 times. They've been replaced 3 times by my optometrist.
Those are garbage.
And
garbage.
Yeah, I'll never buy Nike glasses again, ever. I've always had Ray-Ban. This was the first time I did clear, because Ray-Ban doesn't offer clear glasses, and I wanted to try clear. I'll never do it again. I'll go back to Ray-Ban.
I just feel like Nike's not known for glasses, Daddy. I don't know. I just that's the maybe they are, but I get the vibe they're not. And Ray-Ban, they're known for glasses. They're known for glasses. Rick gifted a membership. Oh yeah, that fires, Rick. We got to go back to FanFest, my friend. Junior said he wanted to go. Uh, Thank you, Rick. What's up, Big Black Guy channel? We got Ross in the house. What's up, Jess? Trisha, I'm back. Okay. What's up, Trisha? We're just gonna dive right into FanFest. We got a lot to talk about. Disneyland, some stuff, actually some great stuff to talk about. Knott's, but the big kahuna today, FanFest. Universal FanFest has finally debuted on Friday. This past Friday was opening day. A lot to be like adventured because what is FanFest? Is it going to go smoothly? Is it going to go bad? Is it going to be fun? Is it going to be something people want to do again? And, you know, all those questions were all up in the air. Well, FanFest has opened and it has delivered. FanFest has Back to the Future, Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Star Trek, Dungeons and Dragons, Wicked. Am I missing something? I feel like that's Harry Potter and Super Nintendo. So quite a mix of
Harry Potter.
bunch of random stuff. So to put all that in an event, how do you weave all that? But Universal somehow did it. I want to start off with Danny's whole experience, and then I'll give my experience, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth because there's a lot to say. But Danny, give us the breakdown, man. Like, how did FanFest go for you? Like, how did it make you feel, man?
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect for the event. Going into it, there was a lot that I wanted to see, and there was a lot that I thought, I don't care if I really see when it came to like the anime stuff. Not that I thought it was bad. I just am not personally like super fan of any of that stuff. So it was, and we kind of changed course when we got there, and we basically did everything, which unfortunately led us not really any time to have any food. So we didn't. I only tried one food item, and another person in our group. I think his name's Frank, right?
Rick.
Rick. He tried the churros, but I didn't. We didn't get to try any other food. So that was the only bummer. Is I wish I would have made time to try some of that to the food special food options. But all in all, I think the event was truly amazing, incredible. It was really immersive, like the kind of immersive storytelling that we're seeing at Epic Universe with inland actors over at How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and also over at the Dark Universe over at Epic Universe. Some of the actors we're seeing walking around in there, and also at the Ministry of Magic Wizarding World of Harry Potter. We're seeing that level of immersion in this After Dark event for a pretty good value. I mean, I think tickets starting at $79. It's a 6-hour event from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. And it's that alone right there is just values there right without any of the other stuff, just with that length of time. I mean, in comparison, we're at like 140 to 170 for Star Wars nights or any other Disneyland After Dark event, and you typically only get like 4, maybe 5 hours for their parties. It never ever seems like enough when you have a big impact for Disneyland to close early. But maybe they just need to do it, or maybe there's, I don't know how they do that. Maybe they stay open later. I don't know, but the events definitely need to last longer. But the level of storytelling that we got, even with the Star Trek and the Dungeons and Dragons walkthroughs, I'm not big on any of those fandoms at all, but I still had a lot of fun in both of them. And you don't really have to have the background or like the knowledge of a lot of what that is to enjoy the experience. They really kind of do a good job of just involving you and bringing you along with it all right then and there anyways. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh, FanFest for me, I feel like I knew what to expect, but at the same time, I didn't know what to expect because like I don't really know anything about Star Trek. You know, I don't watch the shows. Dungeons and Dragons, I know what it's about, but like I've never played the game. But when you do those walkthroughs, I don't really feel like it matters if you're a fan or not of the franchise. You're just kind of enamored in the physical sets, the amount of money that was spent, the characters that you're all of a sudden in this adventure. It's really, really well done. The walkthroughs, I feel like are a super home run. The only thing for me, I wish there was another like three walkthroughs. I feel like I just want more. Like that's like as a fan, that's just what I want. But I felt like Star Trek was a home run. Dungeons and Dragons was a super home run. For me, I enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons more because like I played Magic the Gathering, and Magic the Gathering, you know, deals with kind of same stuff you see in Dungeons and Dragons. So to me, it just really like bonded with my feelings towards that walkthrough. Um, where this event shined, I really feel was the One Piece and Back to the Future. I don't watch One Piece, so for me it was kind of odd to see these characters. But then when I saw the amount of love that these characters were getting by all these fans, it just kind of like sparks your interest of like, well, what what is going on? Why did people like these two people right here? Which is Usopp and Sanji. Everybody going nuts over them, and same thing with all the other ones with Luffy. Um, but it's cool to see fans appreciate like the fandom, or the theme park is appreciating the fandom. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's one of the coolest things that we're seeing come to life. For Back to the Future, it's really a dream come true. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I could watch it any time of the week, and I'll finish. I'll watch it. The movie could start at any point, and I'll just finish it. Back to the Future is that good. But the fact that like they're celebrating Back to the Future at the clock tower, in the way that they did it with this immersive storytelling moments and an actual lightning strike moment, uh, it's pretty incredible stuff. What we're seeing, I can't believe how they attacked storytelling in such a strong way, and they succeeded tremendously at every single point. You know, one thing that I keep seeing on my Twitter, Danny, especially about the One Piece, is like these cosplays are so good. I'm in love with Sanji. Like like that Usopp nose is perfection. Why did they do that in the live action? Like it's just I just see nothing but praise coming on the social media aspect on the One Piece. Like people are loving it. They're loving it. The one that I feel like is going under the radar is the Jujutsu Kaisen show, which is in the DreamWorks Theater. Do not sleep on it. That thing is awesome. I've seen it 3 times now. It's really good. I love the show. It's just the elements and how you feel the wind and the vibrations and all that crazy stuff you get in the theater. It's a really cool experience. I like it, and I like that it's not even in English, so it's in Japanese. It's just very cool experience. We got a member chat from Miss JTX. I did VIP tour for FanFest. The tour guide told us FanFest is under contract for 2 more years. I don't know what that means. Like, is certain things coming back, or maybe nothing comes back and they just go brand new with something else? I don't know. That's interesting. 46 months.
I think they mean just.
What'd you say, Daddy?
I was like, I think it just means that they probably have uh, an agreement with the studio lot portion and being like, hey, we're gonna have this event for 2 more years. So they know it's basically partitioned for that time frame, that they can't have certain things in the studio like buildings that they're using. That's probably my guess when it comes to contract. I don't necessarily. I mean, maybe it does mean some of the IPs like Star Trek and Jujutsu Kaisen and One Piece and stuff like that. So potentially, I mean, that could be fun. I was telling Mondo though that next year it definitely needs to have Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, whatever, represented in in the event in some way. I need a walkthrough experience. We've always wanted a Halloween Horror Nights Jurassic walkthrough. If they don't want to get that horror with it, then perfect. We can do it for FanFest nights. You know what I mean? Make it more of a thrilling thing.
Yeah, Jurassic World walkthrough home run just instantly.
Yeah, everyone's agreeing with Socorro Huerta in the chat. I've heard this said a million times. They want the next FanFest nights to be Back to the Future 2, where they play out the hoverboard scene. I don't know how they're going to do that. They can do it like on a cable or whatnot, but Back to the Future 2 with the hoverboard scene, yeah, Peter posted it. I love Peter's take. Everything about what he said, I'm all for that. Like, basically, he came up with an amazing idea. Villain takeover of Super Nintendo World. Give us Bowser Jr. Give us Wario. Oh my god, I would love having Wario. Give us Bowser himself. That'd be a crazy costume, but hey, we have Donkey Kong, so we know giant costumes can work.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
ET group Pulse story experience. I don't know how this one would play out. I would love it, but I don't know how it would play out. Jaws Destination Amity, incredible. I don't know how they would do that, but if they could have like a whole town come to life, and then they're talking about like, oh, we've heard about Jaws or whatnot, and then like you see Jaws come out of the water. I don't know. It would be really fun.
Yeah. Miss JTX also dropped a super chat. Fires. Also, our guy told us the Fast and Furious set on the tour is rumored to be How to Train Your Dragon. Honestly, it would make perfect sense. We got that movie coming out soon. They already dedicated who knows how much billions of dollars for the land they just created. Universal's heavily invested in How to Train Your Dragon. Super invested. I'll ask around. I've said that, but I haven't heard anybody tell me that. That's interesting. Very interesting. For FanFest, Danny, for all the praise and all the goodness that it's getting, was there any negatives, any cons that you walked away from that maybe they could work on or things could get better?
I mean, we were there on opening night, so I kind of forgive a lot of them. The biggest one I would say was the mystery when it came to the beasts inside the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Everyone wanted to see the beasts, and there was no schedule or kind of like, hey, where are they going to be kind of thing? What's the time frame for them? We wasted a lot of our night just standing around in Wizarding World waiting for the Alchemy to come out because we didn't really know. I wish, Disneyland had, for instance, like, I think we have to give our hats off to Disneyland for this one. We had tons and tons and tons of people, thousands of people waiting at Disneyland on opening day of Luke Skywalker being in the land for Star Wars Season of the Force, and they had times listed on the app and people knew exactly where to go and where to see him, and it worked out perfectly. There was just a lot of like unknowns, and a lot of people missed like a lot of the stuff inside Harry Potter. There were some things they did really right with Harry Potter though. They did the show every 30 minutes. Incredible. Like, and amazing that they did that, because then people don't have to like cram in there for like one showing. They can go as many times as they want. The other thing I heard was that the Harry Potter dining experience was kind of an S show. We didn't do it. Obviously, we didn't dine. But people that we know that did do it said they wasted like 2+ hours there of their time. So
terrible experience.
that's the only thing I could say that's yeah, that's the only thing I could say that's really negative about the whole thing. I think the entertainment they had was great. The DJs they had that were great. We didn't get to try any of the food, but I think Peter and Kitra, they tried a ton of the food and they put a video up. But they said that a lot of the Back to the Future food was disappointing. I think Mondo had heard that as well too.
Yeah, I heard it
and
too.
that the only really good takeaway from there was the chicken pot pie. So
okay. You know what I'm starting to think, Danny? That Hogwarts meat pie is the standout #1 item at FanFest.
Because it was so good.
Yeah.
I could eat like 3 of those.
Damn.
I just wish it wasn't $7.
For me in FanFest, I know it sounds like I don't know how else to say it. I don't have any negatives. I don't have nothing. I didn't try to do any foods at any of my trips. I just wasn't interested in the food. But for all the experiences that I've done, I have 0 negatives. If I had to say something, I'm really trying to think. One thing that I think is not a good idea is how they separate people in Star Trek. I think that's one that I could really think of right now. Star Trek, it seems like the people that are in the front, so they get to see the screen for that first encounter that you encounter that being out in space. Only Express gets to be on that side, while the standby people are behind those people. So just kind of like grouping people. I just can't see the screen. Sometimes you get some tall ass people and it's like, you know what I mean? It's hard. It's like, what am I looking at? Where's the character? I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. That whole splitting people like that. It's just, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of, honestly. I've enjoyed everything about this whole thing. I just feel like it really went well. I never had a bad experience really through the whole thing. I'm not even trying to be biased. It's just, that's like the honest truth. I think.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think if week 2, the crowds are nastier. So like bigger crowds, I could see like negatives all of a sudden just kind of popping out everywhere, but the crowds are great opening weekend.
No, I was just going to say, we have Magnificent Days in the chat that said the One Piece food was not it. It was cold and stale food. I was really curious about this, Mondo, and I hope, since you have a pass and you're going to be going, because I would love to see your experience with it. Because generally we have a lot of the same taste when it comes to that kind of stuff, but we all know that like the food from that location isn't typically the best at Universal. There's a lot of really great, amazing food at Universal, and that location, the Cocina there, I don't know what the actual name is called.
It's not really
known for having the best food.
It's
what I will say though is the entire night. Yeah, the entire night that the event was going on, that One Piece Cafe, the actual name of it, but it was something Sanji. That location had a massive line all night long. Yeah. It never ever stopped
until 1 a.m.
nonstop. So I was like, is this food just like amazing, or is it just because people want like something that's One Piece themed? But seeing someone in the chat putting that it was like cold and stale kind of like goes along the lines of what the food there normally is like. You know what I mean?
I believe it. I don't even know what else to say. I believe it. So somebody
Because isn't
just
that what you usually complain about, Mondo? When you go to the rice there, you always say that the rice from that location is like cold and stale. Like
no,
you've literally said that before, talking
nothing
about the rice from there.
nothing is good at that restaurant. Trust me, I want to love the quesadilla tacos they have there. No, nothing works out there. I don't know why. It's just it is what it is. It's known to not be good, and it lived up to that. I think it's just people want one piece, Danny. It's one piece food themed restaurant. I want to
Yeah,
do it. I want to do it.
yeah. I think that's the best part about one of the best parts about FanFest nights was just seeing how happy everyone was. And I honestly think truly that the anime community really made it that way. Like honestly, the anime community showed up to this event. They showed up to support Jujutsu Kaisen. They showed up to support One Piece, and they made that upper area like incredible, and it really got a lot of people hyped to see the stuff, hyped to know more about it if they didn't. And it was just like a really positive like community. Everyone was really like just loving the characters. No one was saying bad stuff about it. They were all just having a good time. I think anytime people can come dressed in cosplay, or just dressed up as their favorite character or seeing their favorite characters, um, outside of a con, I think is like such a fun thing for them. So honestly, I want to give a shout out to like the anime community because I feel like they really plus up the event. Like I was having so much fun seeing people have like go crazy over all these anime characters come to life. And it was like getting me it got us hyped. I mean, I think we spent so much time in the One Piece area, and that wasn't even our plan.
I
We just like
know.
always ended up being there like most of the time throughout the night.
Yeah, interacting with the One Piece characters has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's one of my highlights, honestly, of this whole event is the One Piece characters. But like Danny was saying, it's just really cool to see all these fans of One Piece, and they're all dressed up in cosplay, and they're meeting their favorite characters. It's just cool visually to see. Uh, and to have like One Piece just take over the main street right there, it just kind of sets the bar of like, all right, like this is gonna be this cool immersive experience from the get go. Um, Let me throw this one at you, Danny. Do you? I just want to ask how you feel. Do you feel like the Wicked characters just kind of got no love? Like there was no love for the Wicked characters? Maybe bad positioning, or it's just everybody's just deep in the event. It's hard to come back to the Wicked characters. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel like when they were originally announcing a lot of the stuff for FanFest nights that were getting people hyped, and we were getting those OG announcements, Wicked was kind of like as Wicked meet and greets for, and it was kind of like bolted on. The cafe on the upper lot that used to serve Wicked food, I feel like that should have. But I feel like that whole upper lot area should have been like a Wicked themed area, with more than just that meet and greet with like the backdrop on it. Like bring in some props, like bring in some things. Like they're the ones that created the movie. Like they've got to have some of those things there. Like bring some of the costumes in cases, put them on display so people can see it. I feel like it was just kind of a missed op because Universal Orlando had both of them when the movie came out, and like this whole Wicked experience that people could go to in City Walk, and we didn't have that. And then they kind of just debuted it after the movie already, went and gone. So like, I hope after FanFest nights, Glinda and Elphaba stick around because their movie's coming out in November. So um, I don't know. I hope there's more Wicked stuff in.
I feel like they should have had that big head of the Oz head. They should have had that in one of the sound stages as a photo op, Danny. Like that would have been so cool. I'm all for more Wicked. Um, yeah, the Wicked. It was just meet and greets with Elphaba and Galinda or Glinda. Um, I don't think they ever do a meet and greet where they're both out. It's just one at a time. Uh, if I could throw out a suggestion to Universal, I want to see the two characters perform a song like "Defy Gravity." I That would be amazing. Imagine they only have to do one song, just that one. Uh, that's just my recommendation of what I would like to see out of Wicked. The big Oz head as a photo op, them sing a song, and then just do the meet and greets. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, we have a couple of call outs, Mondo. Magnificent Days, who originally said the food was Sanji's Galley, said that they ordered the barbacoa tacos and 3 pieces of meat with 2 cold hard tortillas. The only good thing was the iced tea and devil fruit concha. Uh, those did look pretty good. And then someone else said, Mondo, that all of the park food at Universal is made at a different location and then reheated at the park restaurants. But I feel like, is that the case for Three Broomsticks? 'Cause I feel like it's made there. I don't know. That one seems like it's made there.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't know about
Lord
the meet
Cheese
and
the
greet
First
thing.
said worse than beef and broccoli from Paradise Garden Grill at DCA. I don't know. I've never had beef and broccoli from Paradise Garden Grill. But I don't think I would probably try that from Paradise Garden Grill.
Yeah. FanFest to me is something that I was ready to embrace fully, and now that it's come to life, I can't wait to come back. I'm glad I got a pass and I could keep going. And it's cool because like now we have a chance to hang out at Universal at night on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, we don't really get that chance. They lots of times it closes 7 or 6. But I'm excited. To me, Back to the Future was the biggest shining moment out of this whole experience. Uh, you know what I was thinking, Danny? I don't know if Universal brings Back to the Future next year for FanFest. The reason why is because like this year's the 40th, and Universal's very picky with their lower lot, and they always use it for filming. We haven't got the Metro sets for Halloween Horror Nights for whatever reason. Uh, do you think Back to the Future comes back next year?
I hope so. I hope so. And I also want to give a shout out to Knott's Berry Farm. I know they're not maybe doing it the same level, Mondo, that they have in the past, but I honestly feel like Ghost Town Alive really paved the way for a lot of this stuff. People might say that Legends of Frontierland at Disneyland did, but that was only like a one-time experience that was done years and years and years ago, and they never actually did it ever again. But I feel like Knott's has been doing this with Ghost Town Alive, with like having all these characters come alive. You can interact with them. You can choose and change part of the story by talking to them and doing stuff. And then Universal kind of is doing that on a much grander scale. Even lately, I feel like maybe Knott's Ghost Town Alive hasn't been hitting the same as it has in the past, but they still kind of paved the way with that for sure. But this is like next level. What we experienced in Back to the Future is just to see the movie scenes come to life, and then you're standing on the set that the movie was filmed in, is just like, that alone is like, you pay hundreds of dollars for something like that at the Warner Brothers studio tour, and you don't even have the actors there. You're just doing it to be on the sets of things on the studio lot. So this is like, just, people were getting emotional about some of this stuff because they have such a love for Back to the Future, and just the childhood memories that it brings back. It was really cool. I loved the whole intro video when you're going down on the tram. I think that was super fun, getting you involved with it, and then starts right away. Like it looks like Marty's getting off the tram with you, and he's kind of like entering Hill Valley the same time you are. And I think that's the coolest thing. And if you follow from character to character, you can kind of do the whole storyline. Some people were doing that. We kind of tried to do that a little bit, you and I. But then, like, other people were just kind of exploring and like doing other things.
Mm-hmm. Um, Jamie Lynn says, "Do you think Disney will change their After Dark event since Universal was way more popular and offered more?" What do you think, Danny? I'll let you go first,
No,
dog.
no, no. In this current time frame, I know the teams that put together the After Dark events at Disneyland, and they work really, really, really hard to put those events together. And they do it on a budget that they're given, and they're given one budget for the entire year, and that budget has to span the entirety of all the events that they put on for the whole year's roster. So they really, it's really hard to like take a budget and make it go between all the events. So they do, I feel like, a really good job. I saw some people like Theme Park Shark were kind of like bagging on Disney Channel night. In all honesty, Disney Channel night, in my opinion, was the best After Dark event we've had in recent years. Like the level of fandom and excitement of all the people that were in attendance was exactly the same as FanFest nights during Disney Channel night, because it had that nostalgia that people all loved coming back to, in life. Like they're doing zombies, they're doing High School Musical, they're doing Proud Family, Xenon, like all the stuff people loved. They were doing it in person. Not on the same scale. Obviously, they weren't spending the money Universal was spending. But I feel like they do the best that they can do with the money they're given. I think it's hard because it's like Disneyland itself is priced so much higher. So in their mind, they're pricing the tickets based on, well, you have access to Disneyland. But in reality, if they wanted to close more of the rides and make it more of a immersive event and experience, I think people would like that better, because I don't really know how many of our guests here on the West Coast are going to After Dark events just to access Disneyland, because a lot of them are Magic Key holders. Versus on the East Coast, a lot of those After Dark events are really tourists going to a less crowded Magic Kingdom, and they appreciate that, right? They want that. They love having access to Magic Kingdom with like literally half the crowds that would normally be there, because Magic Kingdom is literally the most popular theme park in the entire world. There's nothing more popular than it. So like the lines there are insane at the Magic Kingdom. And so being able to experience Magic Kingdom as a tourist who's there on vacation with half the crowds, for them is worth the admission. But I feel like Disney's kind of trying to like copy that over here, and we don't necessarily care about having access to Disneyland. If they're not going to offer anything special to pass, I don't need to just do that.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I think they need to like reevaluate, but I don't know that they're going to.
my answer is I don't think Disneyland changes anything. Most of their events sell out. The Star Wars one has not sold out. I feel like the Star Wars one's not doing good. But no, I think Disneyland, for what they offer, has been working. I know a lot of people are not happy, but there's a tremendous amount of people that are happy because they keep buying the After Dark events. So I don't think the signals are there for Disney to be like, we got to change things. I hope it inspires them, though, to bring a storytelling experience. I think Disneyland would benefit tremendously by bringing a story, like a story based experience, how Universal did. Uh, it would be cool. Um, like I'm trying. It's hard because like Universal, they're building sets. I don't see Disneyland building any sets for anything after dark. They just, like Danny was saying about the budget, they're not going to budget that. But yeah, I don't think nothing changes. Um, I hope if I could make a recommendation to Disneyland, please bring special fireworks shows back to after dark events. I having that nighttime spectacular moment, it really goes a long way. It just makes you like, yeah, that was worth my ticket. You know, I didn't have to fight the crowds, and I got this cool fireworks show. Um, that would be one good recommendation I would give Disney. Bring back the fireworks, but I don't see them dropping like $1 million on a set. Those sets they built for Dungeons and Dragons and Star Trek, that was not cheap at all. Like I don't know how much those budgets are, but they were high. There was a lot of money spent on FanFest, like crazy money spent on FanFest. We got Jess, 46 months. Have y'all smashed the like button? Thank you for all for joining Mondo and Danny this evening. Fire up them likes, everybody. Let's go. Hit the like button. I don't even know how many we're at. We're at 142. Let's get a 200. Hit the like button. Hit it. But thank you, Jess. 46 months. Ah, man. What was in the meat pie you ordered at FanFest? And is it only available during FanFest? I'll let you take it, Danny.
I believe so. I believe so. It's the same with the churros. Um, we had the churros as well too, which I don't even know if he did like he offered me some, but I couldn't have it because I had a bunch of stuff on it. But I don't know if you ended up trying the churros at all.
Yeah. What was in the meat pie? The meat pie, Danny.
The meat pie was basically like a shepherd's pie. So everything you'd find in a shepherd's pie. So it had like kind of like beef stew almost. So it had peas and carrots and potatoes and beef with like gravy all inside that meat pocket. So if you can think about all the ingredients you'd find in a shepherd's pie, but in like a pastry pocket that you can kind of take with you to go. Wasn't nearly big enough, but I loved it, and it was cool. It had the little Hogwarts H on it. It was a fun little thing that they did. It was kind of like the story behind it was you're there for the big Quidditch like match between specific houses, and they were selling churros with the two houses that were being featured in the Quidditch match, and the meat pies were kind of like the concessions for the Quidditch match. So they were doing a lot of extra things that they don't normally do in Wizarding World. I feel like a lot of that stuff was slept on. A lot of people didn't talk about it, but it's truly because they might not have known of all the stuff that was going there. But there was a cool storyline behind it, and I really appreciated all the stuff in Wizarding World that they did. That was one of the highlights for me personally.
The creatures were cool. The actors that were performing with the creatures were awesome. I loved the projection show at the castle. The Harry Potter experience was amazing. If I could throw a recommendation out there, if there is no creatures out, I want to see some Death Eaters roaming. You know what I mean? Creatures go on. Creatures take a break. The Death Eaters come out. That's what I'm saying. I want the Death Eaters back. I'm going to keep saying that forever until they come back. I don't know why we don't get Death Eaters, man. Death Eaters are just one of the coolest things that ever came to the Wizarding World. I love the alchemy. The alchemy was really cool. Everything was cool. I love the creatures. I wish they were just a normal thing. A couple things I want to talk about FanFest real quick. This hat that you see, they do not sell these during the day. For the most part, there's like a lot of cool things. One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, the Back to the Future sweater. A lot of that stuff, they don't put that stuff out until 7 o'clock. So for all the people trying to buy like the JJK hats or One Piece, you gotta wait till 7 o'clock, and they sell them at the studio store and animation store. For whatever reason, there's a big long line that they create at the animation store, but in the studio store, there was like no wait. I bought this hat and waited like 5 minutes to buy the hat. If I would have waited at an animation store, that would have been probably an hour. It was a humongous line for One Piece over there. Also, a lot of people have been asking me about Express. I honestly don't want to say Express is worth it, at least so far this weekend. I think if you do early entry, you're going to be just fine. Um, if Express worked for the characters, I'd be like, "Pff, buy Express all day, but there isn't
Oh,
anything right
speaking of
now.
early entry, Mondo,
What are you going to say, Danny?
I was just saying, especially for early entry, we've had quite a few chats in the chat when we first started talking about FanFest, and even more recently, uh, at least 4 or 5 times mentioned that they want to know if you can explain what's available during early entry. I don't know because I was only there on opening night. Um, do we know officially what's available during early entry? Because they were wondering as if like the whole experience was, or if it was half or half.
I want to say early entry. I don't even know if there's like a list that I could like show people, but I feel like early entry was working for Star Trek, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Back to the Future. For whatever reason, they allow people to get in line, but Dungeons and Dragons kind of doesn't open up until like 6:45, right before 7. So I think your early entry is for Star Trek, Jujutsu Kaisen, or just get to Back to the Future really early. Um, yeah, that unless one of the biggest things you want to do is Dungeons and Dragons, you could be one of the first ones to do it and maybe do it a couple times because of early entry. But yeah, all the people like, should I buy Express right now? I recommend early entry. I think early entry will save you a lot of money, and you get a lot of bang for your buck. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Early entry is Dungeons, Star Trek, Jujutsu Kaisen. It's pretty much the whole event. The whole event's early entry. Imagine the future IPs for FanFest. What an incredible event. Universal, well done. What's up, TLEV? Yeah, the only one I really want to come to FanFest next year, and I feel like it'll just be dropping the hammer. Pokemon. Just Pokemon, and instead of the flux capacitors, if they could just theme themselves to Pokemon for the event, the Pokemons, it would be awesome. Awesome. I didn't do the egg hunt. Even on the low crowded day, like yesterday on Sunday, to meet the exclusive Yoshi, the blue or pink one, over an hour, easily. Uh, that maybe if there is a negative, it's probably that exclusive Yoshi. That line is just taking too long. I haven't waited in it. I haven't waited in that line yet, so like I don't have nothing to complain about. I met the green Yoshi. It only took like 10 minutes. I only wanted to meet the green Yoshi. I'm cool. The green Yoshi is all I need. Yeah, Sailor Moon would be awesome. I'm a big Sailor Moon fan. All right, Danny, let's get your closing thoughts and let's move on to Disneyland. Closing thoughts on FanFest.
Uh, I just wanted to call out real quick. Brian Sevilla in the chat said that early entry is Dungeons and Dragons, Star Trek, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Back to the Future didn't open until right when the event started, and he also said that you can ride all the.
You get on all the rides?
Yeah.
Uh, there is one thing. Did I not post it? Did I post it? Um, uh, Danny, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's very, very delayed. I might need to come out and come back in. Like every time I talk, you don't hear me until like maybe a whole almost a minute later.
You want to go out and come back in? I'm like, I feel like I'm talking to Danny from like 20 seconds ago. I think it's the connectivity on my end. It's not Danny's fault. I think it's mine. But all right, Danny, can you hear me? Are we
Yeah.
okay? I feel like it's not delayed now. Um, Danny, I wanted to go over this real quick before we like go closing thoughts. There's a brand new tent that has arrived at Jurassic World. The big question is it Halloween Horror Nights? And the other big question is, are we not going to use the soundstage that is right behind that tent? Because that's where we had Universal Monsters last year. Well, there's been a lot of talking and chit chattering because this location has been used before. This is not an unknown location. The big question was also, does a facade fit right there? And that kind of became a big conversation. Yes, the answer is yes. A facade fits right there. Um, what I wanted to say is this from what we're hearing, the speculation is that we will not get a soundstage over there. This is a replacement. There has been some cool houses that have come to Jurassic World. The main thing I wanted to say, this is just adding to the fire of the lower lot and how crazy it's going to be down there this year. But I'm going to keep my eye out there for all the movements that are happening. At least we got to see the facade or this maze come to life now instead of it being in the soundstage and we don't see nothing. But just wanted to get that out there. Danny, give me your closing thoughts on FanFest, my friend. Your closing thoughts on it. Let's move on to Disneyland after. Just lost Danny. Thank you, Danny. Those closing thoughts were so good. Crystal and Chris. Danny, can you hear me?
Oh, it booted me. It said no longer allowed or something like that.
What the heck? I didn't touch nothing. Crystal and Chris, 46 months. We remember you asking for Back to the Future event in the backlot for years. We finally got it. They knocked it out of the park. So surreal. I felt on the opening day of FanFest, I felt like crap the next day. My body was like, what are you doing, dude? We can't be out this late. It's too cold. It felt like Horror Nights. But I was like, I don't know if this event will ever come back. And we have this Back to the Future thing that's insane. And I went all 3 days this past weekend for FanFest. And I loved everything about the event. Even being tired and not feeling 100, I still had a great time. Danny, give us your closing thoughts. Thank you, Crystal and Chris.
Yeah. Thanks, Crystal and Chris. Yeah, 46. Them and Jessica with 46 months, almost 4 years.
Damn.
I loved FanFest nights. I thought it was an incredible event. I said it on my Instagram if you guys were following me there. I felt like they set the standard for an after dark event, right? We already know they can do Halloween Horror Nights, and you can argue each year which is better, whether it's Scary Farm or Halloween Horror Nights. It always kind of like it depends on what actually ends up being the maze walkthroughs that year. But this felt like something in and of itself that was uniquely universal. And very storytelling driven, which is crazy because you would expect something of this level from like Disney parks, but we just don't have that. So, and this is they really stepped it up. They spent a lot of time planning and executing this event. There were so many people there on opening night that were part of those teams that had a lot on the line for this event. And it really paid off for them, and I'm glad that it did, because we loved it, and I hope we get more events like this. And so, shout out to everyone who spent all that time working on this event. to make it good. And let whoever did that, whoever made all the decisions, make them in charge of the next one.
Yeah, keep that person going. And let them loose more. Just give them bigger budget. My closing thoughts on FanFest. It just feels like a dream come true with Back to the Future. Everything that you get out of FanFest, you're just so happy. The pricing, the experience, the characters, the photo ops. Dude, I didn't even show that. I got to show that real quick. Look at this. Peter from Ordinary Adventures. These are the coolest photo ops I've ever seen at an After Dark event from anywhere. Look at these photo ops, Danny. Look at that. Doc Brown with the clock tower. Freaking Marty McFly.
Incredible.
Dude, dirty photo ops. Like, I don't care what any other theme park does. Nothing can top these photo ops from Back to the Future. Like, look at this one. Like, what the heck? It's just insane. These photo ops. Whoever thought of all this stuff, just home run. Home run, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anyone knows Peter, it definitely is what he said, a dream come true for him. Like, Peter loves Back to the Future almost more than anyone I know. So this was like his, I was excited to see what him and what Adam the Woo thought, because they both love Back to the Future like more than anyone that I know. So I was like, I have to see what they think about this.
And they all loved it. The continual thing that I heard from many people that I talked to at FanFest was, I spent 3 hours at Back to the Future, and no regrets. Literally zero regrets. Like, we were down there for a long time, and it was awesome. I did the same thing. I think every time I've gone down there, you can't help but pound like 2-3 hours in Back to the Future. It just doesn't get old when you're down there. It's just such an experience to be in the set of Back to the Future. And one thing somebody mentioned to me, people book VIP tours for Universal Studios Hollywood all the time, and they don't get to go to the clock tower. Sometimes it's just not part of their experience. So somebody paying $79 for general admission, and they get to walk on the clock tower in a Back to the Future experience. It's just incredible value you're getting at FanFest. Incredible. I think they did an outstanding job. I hope this just the ball keeps rolling. I like where Universal's headed. You know what somebody mentioned to me, Danny, is that, like, you know how we get these speculation maps for Horror Nights? I feel like there's going to be a FanFest speculation map for next year. So somebody's gonna know too much, and we're gonna get all these stupid symbols and giving us hints of what's coming next year. FanFest speculation map 1, version 1. We got a member chat.
Yeah, and if FanFest Nights continues. I was just gonna say, if FanFest Nights continues to be popular, one thing that really sells out well during Halloween Horror Nights is their hotels, right? And they only have 2 right now, and there's a rumor they might build their own. But with events like FanFest Nights, that could help sell out hotels too for them at a different time of year. That's not Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh yeah, and especially too, Danny, because they sell a 2-day ticket. Well, stay at the hotel. Why wouldn't you? Right? 2-day ticket. One day at the hotel. Money. Disney Diva Jet 46. All of these. Thank you. Glad to support the fire. Fired up. I love it. Thank you for 46 months, DDG. Also, too, we got a member chat. 5 months from Definable Titan. Biff needs to walk around, to be a walk around character permanently. As much as I want to say yes, I feel like it's not possible, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. This is just I saw it all happen in person. Biff came out like from backstage, and the first person he encountered was like, "Move out of my way, butthead!" And I was like, "Dude!" I just don't think that translates well, with Dracula and Beetlejuice and all that other stuff. Trust me, I want Biff just as much as anybody. But Biff calling people a butthead and being mean to people and a bully, it just makes sense in that environment of Back to the Future, and everybody that's down there gets it. Nobody's offended. It's awesome. But I think Biff just walking around in the plaza up in the upper lot, right at the entrance.
Yeah, when they're in the experience, they get it.
Yeah, you're in the experience getting called a butthead. Like, you're just laughing because it's funny. But I don't know. I just feel like him calling some random dude a butthead he doesn't even know that's a character because it's just a regular guy in a character dress suit. But yeah. Biff was incredible. Shout out to all the Biffs. They were shout out to every single one, every character in Back to the Future. Y'all killed it, man. I felt like I was watching a movie in real life every time you guys did stuff. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. My closing thoughts, Five Fires. It's the place to be. If you haven't got a ticket, if you're an annual pass holder, I can't help but recommend this enough. If you're in the park, so your pass works on a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday, you could upgrade your day ticket for $50. You could literally do FanFest for $50. Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't you stay at that point? Or for all the people that do not have, it's $80. I think it goes up higher for some days. But yeah, FanFest, do it. You're probably going to want to upgrade to a 2-day, honestly. This event, it's just a great event. Great event. All right, Danny, let's move on to Disneyland. Good old Disneyland. With Disneyland, I want to start off with this big kahuna that was announced. The walkway between Avengers Campus and Coors Land at California Adventure Decap will be closing beginning Tuesday. Tuesday is tomorrow. The walkway is expected to remain closed until next summer while crews build a new restroom facility and other construction continues on the Avengers Campus expansion. We've been calling this for a long time. In my opinion, I was telling Danny, I don't think just the walkway is going to leave. I think the Doctor Strange Sanctum is on the way out too. Afuera! Afuera! Doctor Strange show already has been canceled. I don't think it'd be that surprising for the Sanctum to leave too. But this is big news. That walkway is clutch. That walking around sucks now, Danny. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a world where we can see part of it stay, or maybe we see the whole thing stay. But I definitely agree with that to an extent. They have a big problem at Pym Test Kitchen and Pym Tasting Lab where they just don't have tables to accommodate all the guests. And we've seen that, right? We've seen that with a Pym Test Kitchen 2 and a Shawarma 2 over next to the Hyperion Theater. So seeing the Sanctum space be reworked into additional dining right across the way from Pym Test Kitchen is probably really going to be the right move for them. Something like we saw that they added for Red's Community Garden, where they added all the tables for the Cozy Cones, which was very much needed, right? There was only like 3 or 4 tables that you could use at Cozy Cone. So they really needed that space, and it's benefited them. So like Mondo said, if if Doctor Strange Sanctum is being used, I think that having the tables and extra dining there is the way to go. But yeah, we talked about this pathway closing. We had speculated months and months ago that we thought that based on the construction and the location of this and the fact that they were kind of letting everything just kind of grow over the walkway right there, and they weren't really keeping it up, and it was looking really terrible, um, was kind of an indicator that we felt like that space was gonna get torn out and like blown up. And now it makes sense. They're gonna close it. They're gonna what we didn't know was they're gonna build a bathroom there, which is great because Mondo's least favorite bathroom in all of DCA is the Avengers Campus one.
Hate it.
So hopefully they can build a better one for Avengers Campus.
Avenger Campus bathroom sucks. It's so small, and just for the amount of people that are there, it's not good. It's just not good. This is great news. I would only imagine that pathway survives, right, Danny? It's just being closed for now.
Yeah, I think it does survive in some capacity. Whether it looks the same now as it did before is probably not going to happen, especially since there's going to be a bathroom there. And to be fair, in the concept artwork, we did see the sanctum kind of exist there alongside of what was already there. But we know with Disney's concept art specifically, nothing's really kind of you know set in stone there, and they probably just the artist just kind of takes creative freedom with what's there, and they add in kind of what whatever Disney has commissioned them to do. So I wouldn't take it as like biblical facts that this area is really kind of gonna change. And I think the entrance through that side is probably going to be a lot more grand since you're walking in right there to like essentially the main addition to Avengers Campus. They're going to probably make it a little bit more of a grand reveal so that you can see the building and kind of make that turn to do the Avengers attraction and the Stark Flight Lab and all that stuff.
Yup. I think the Sanctum is probably going to become a dining space. Like Danny, I think Danny was just mentioning it. I've heard rumors about it many times that it becomes a dining space, but at this point, I believe it. They need more because having people go all the way by the Hyperion Courtyard, I don't know. It's just not a good experience when you kind of want to stay in Avenger Campus, not leave Avenger Campus. But I'm excited. I can't wait to see the construction happen. The future is upon us in Avenger Campus. Do you still think it's weird, Danny, that they started Avenger Campus expansion instead of Avatar? I honestly feel like Avatar should have been the focus, but how do you feel about that? They were like, we got to do Marvel first.
Yeah, I think it's weird too that they decided to do this, but I think it's because they've already announced Avengers Campus expansions like so many years ago, and it's changed concepts like 3 or 4 different times. So I think it's just already been in the works. They have a giant building that was supposed to be the entrance to their marquee attraction that never ended up happening. So I feel like they built a land that they need to finish and complete, and that's why they're starting with that first, because Avatar is something totally different. So they're gonna have to, that'll be a completely different experience, and they're trying to finish and complete what they want for Avengers Campus in its entirety.
They're like, we got to get it done and move on. We got to move on. 45 months. Josh. I truly humbled. All these like 40 months. It's just crazy. Thank you. 45 months from Josh. God damn, your coverage of FanFest has been awesome. Looks like so much fun. Dude, it's been insane fun. I can't wait to go back Friday. I'm gonna go back Friday. Probably live stream. I want to do kind of more of the little stuff. Like I want to watch the band. Maybe try food. We'll do some food on stream. But yeah, no, Josh, if you've been thinking about it, get out there to FanFest at least one day, Josh. At least one day. My Alyssa says, I'm so excited for D23 Duffy event this Saturday. I am allowed to take pics outside of WDI? Am I allowed? I don't. You got to ask them. I don't know, my Alyssa. I don't know the rules over there. Justin says a sneak peek of Jonesburg. What is Jonesburg? New song for the 70th. Okay, I'll see if I can check that out.
They basically are saying there's a sneak peek live of the Jonas Brothers song for the 70th, but I think their autocorrect probably changed it to Jonesburg.
Jonesburg. I was like, what is Jonesburg? Jonas Brothers. Jonas Brothers. Is my audio still cutting in and out? I gotta get a new mic.
Yours is the whole time. The whole time I've been on here, Mondo, your audio's been cutting in and out like completely.
I unplugged it and plugged it.
So I just thought it was. I don't know. It's. I told Coco to get off the Wi-Fi's, and she said she just got off.
Okay. So. I want to move over to food. The food at Disneyland. Why are we getting so much food right now? It's kind of incredible how much food is being announced for whatever reason, starting April 30th. I almost want to say it's been like 30 to 50 items of new food. Any thoughts on that, Danny? Because it's not the 70th. They're not calling it the 70th foodie guide. And even though the 70th starts the 17th of May, what the hell? What do you think, dude?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know why they're debuting so much food. I mean, I know Disney always does special, like a whole revamp of all their food for the summer. So we typically do see like a bunch of stuff come out for like summertime foods at Disneyland. So I thought maybe this would be this is pretty like this is pretty par for the course. But what I thought is that we wouldn't get that this time around since we have a summer like event happening that will bring with it its own special food. So I thought, okay, well that will count as the special food, but they're still doing like updates to the menu with these limited time items, and in addition, hopefully to the 70th stuff. I don't know. We haven't really heard anything about the 70th stuff yet, but I hope there's some really cool things that I can tell you right now, Mondo. I will be going to Disneyland specifically to get that hot dog from Reward Wieners and the pastrami sandwich from Flo's V8 Cafe, because I love pastrami. So I gotta try it.
That pastrami picture looks damn good too. Like I want that. I like pastrami too, Danny. Yeah, I like pastrami. I just feel like they don't do foodie guides like this. Like all of a sudden they're adding breakfast to all these different spots. Give your thoughts on the breakfast, Danny, because this was random, dude. But you've been saying there's like a need for breakfast.
Yeah, there's a need. There's a need for breakfast. They just don't have breakfast options at Disneyland outside of like Red Rose Tavern and Galactic Grill. So having some like kind of to-go options from like Maurice's Treats with that amazing looking pretzel bun, the incredible Denver omelet shawarma that looks super good. You all know, if you know anything about me, Bengal barbecue is my favorite place at Disneyland. So having rice, scrambled eggs, and spam for breakfast, absolutely. I love everything about that. So sign me up for any of that. And then the cappuccino cart, that's not a stranger to breakfast. They've had stuff there. That doesn't necessarily stand out to me as like something I'd want to try. It looks like your standard run-of-the-mill breakfast burrito. But cool if they have that as an option.
Yeah. Man, Disneyland, they're just going so hard. I could only assume the 70th. We're going to be bombarded with like 100 new items, maybe 200 for all we know. There is some other big news when it comes down to Disneyland. I kind of feel like it's not being talked about enough, but we're going to make it a big deal right now. It's a post that actually came from Scott Gustin. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Here it is. I know Danny has a lot to say on this one. Run Disney. We got an update from Run Disney. So shout out to Scott for posting this. Due to upcoming construction impacts, Run Disney races at Disneyland Resort will be placed on hiatus in 2026. So next year. After the conclusion of 2026 Disneyland Half Marathon weekend, we will continue to offer races at Walt Disney World as well as virtual offerings. What are your thoughts? I get the feeling, Danny, that they know Run Disney for a while. I don't think they don't want to say it, but that's my opinion. What do you think, dude?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's not that they want it to end, but I think there's their hands are kind of tied with this stuff, right? Lately, as it seems, so back in the day when I used to run Disney races before they disappeared for the not the Simba parking lot, but the parking lot over in front of the Disneyland hotel. So the Lilo parking lot and like the Stitch ones over there. That was like the race finish, and that's where like the big setup was um, for all the races, no matter what. And then Disneyland Drive was the kickoff. Lately, they've been using Disney Way, which is the street that the Toy Story buses use for the race, like start and finish line. And then the Pumbaa parking lot, which is where the new structure is going, has been the race central for you to all the runners to come through the finish line to grab their medals. The people are waiting for them at the end. Like that's all in the Pumbaa parking lot. So that I don't know why they're no longer using Disneyland Drive or the Lilo and Stitch parking lots anymore. Maybe they can't, based on just the way they're used nowadays post pandemic, because they were used for different things back then. But this is very telling because if the fact that the Pumbaa parking lot has now essentially become the race central, if and we know that that's going to be the parking structure, it makes sense that they're going to be on hiatus because we've heard rumors that the parking structure construction will begin at the end of this year. We knew it would happen this year at some point, right? Because Disney had already shared that they would begin that construction, but we didn't know when. Mondo and I kept looking like, when are they going to start doing this? When are they going to go? So it sounds like they're going to break ground on that parking structure on Manchester and on Harbor later this year. And because of that, they won't have a place for the race to finish. So, and I don't know how long the parking structure construction will take. I don't even remember how long it took for them to build Pixar Pals, to be honest. So
I would assume like 2 years
it,
at least.
yeah, this is a big structure too. Like this is really big. So, but the great news about this is that this brings with it the ability to potentially see construction anywhere else, right? Like this could be the catalyst to let them finally close the Simba parking lot and expand DCA into that parking lot, or this could be the catalyst for them to close the parking lots that are directly in front of the structure for them to be able to expand Disneyland. Or it could be the catalyst for them to close Toy Story and build something there. So, who knows, right? But this is the first step either way. And we'll see kind of what it brings with it. But this is great news because it means they're actually doing something when it comes to that structure. So, sad news for the Run Disney fans that want to get their coast to coast medal. they'll have to wait. I don't even know, Mondo. At this point, I would say they're gonna have to wait till 2030.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
I
guess.
think it's on hiatus for a long time. This stuff, Disney don't
Yeah.
move, first of all, Disney don't move fast with construction. But whatever. I, I'm happy. I'm ecstatic hearing that the parking structure could be happening this year. That's amazing news. Because that only pushes forward all the other projects, Avatar, Coco, and whatever the heck they announce in the next D23. Um, it's exciting news. This is huge, very huge. Um, Danny, with Disneyland, is there anything you want to talk about in particular?
Well, the parking lot closure was the biggest one, so that's a huge thing. In addition to that, I just wanted to call out to um, some of the just like we're on the horizon here for the 70th anniversary kicking off. Um, I think it's worth too talking about just nighttime entertainment. I feel like we're gonna get back into that that period at Disneyland Mondo where people really have to prioritize like what kind of nighttime entertainment. So I wanted to kind of just bring that up. So people have summer trips planned to Disneyland. That's really gonna have to be part of their planning. Is like trying to figure out like if you want to watch Paint the Night, like you're gonna have to prioritize waiting for Paint the Night for a long time unless you're doing a dining package, and you're probably not gonna be able to do Phantasmic, right? Or you're if you're gonna watch Paint the Night, like maybe you pick the one that's like combined with the fireworks, so you can do both. Like I feel like that's worth mentioning because like we're coming up on a summer that we haven't had this much entertainment since you and I did the media event for Spectaculars when they brought back the electrical parade.
Hmm.
So we're like that level.
Yeah, I'm excited. Uh, Wondrous finally kicking off. Paint the Night. World of Color. Happy, I think is what they call it. Um, Phantasmic is probably still going to be happening. It's going to be cool. It's gonna the night entertainment at Disneyland is always spectacular. I can't wait to do it. I'm going to do it many times. I love Paint the Night. I love Wondrous. The only one that's up in the air is World of Color. We'll see how that lands, but it's very exciting times for the 70th. Did you see in the middle, Danny? There's like walls now in the Esplanade.
Oh, for the big thing in the middle.
Mm-hmm. I I think it was Disney Scoop guy posted a picture, if I'm not mistaken.
Rudy in the chat, Mondo says, "Hey Mondo, I'm actually working for the company that got the bid on the new parking structure." Well, Rudy, I hope you guys have an amazing time doing that, and I hope there's no delays because Disney construction projects are all about delays these days. So
Yeah.
hopefully things go smooth for you.
Yeah. Hey, Rudy, I hope your team just kills it. Just kills it. Get that construction or get that parking structure up as fast as possible, my friend. Obviously, safely as possible. Here are the walls, Danny. Look at that. At the Esplanade.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Um, we are, and Fresh Baked actually called this out. I mean, Mondo and I talked about it when we did our Disneyland day the other day. Went together. They were testing the new experience at the turnstiles with the facial recognition. And Mondo and I went out of our way to choose the line that was testing it so that we could do it. But now Fresh Baked was showing a day at Disneyland. I think it was yesterday, where they were doing the facial recognition on every single turnstile,
Dude.
and it was really, really impacting the lines on his video that he posted. I don't know if it was on Instagram
You mean
or if it
like
was on X,
impacting
but
the
he was
lines in a
showing
bad way?
yes, yeah, like the every single ticket booth line or ticket entrance line for DCA was in the middle of the Esplanade. Every single one of them.
What? What?
And I think it's like we're in a period right now. We're in a period right now where people don't understand how to use it. And so we're going to have, we are mostly a locals driven, people have spent years and years and years and years entering Disneyland the way they know. And this is a totally new way. And so, for the people that, Mondo and I talked about it a little bit on a previous Speculation Sunday, but the problem that we run into now with this new experience is that we have the mom or the dad or the friend that has everyone's passes on their phone, and they're sitting there normally walking up to the cast member, scanning one pass, swiping, scanning the other pass, swiping, scanning the other pass, swiping, etc., etc., and then like the five people behind them all walk in at the same time. And so like that's what people are used to, and that just doesn't work with this system because the person who's scanning it has to be the one whose face it is. And so what we were experiencing was a mom was walking up to the turnstile, scanning 2 or 3 tickets, and every single time it would deny it because it's recognizing her face since she's standing closest to the machine, rather than the child who's standing there next to her. And it was like causing an issue, and the cast member had to come over. So I think we'll just get used to the fact that like if you are gonna still continue to do that, then you just have to make sure you're standing off to the side so that the camera isn't seeing you when you're scanning it, and it's seeing the person that's in front of it. Because it does a really good job of grabbing you no matter which way you're standing in front of it, as long as you're directly in front of it in some way. But this also might be an opportunity for people to get their magic bands so they don't have to do the scan, swipe, scan, swipe thing. Everyone can just walk through with their magic band, touch it, and go. Because the magic band might be the best way to do this type of experience because people, Paris uses this so well, but people aren't digital like that there. They're using like tickets and things like that. And it's easy when it's treated like a subway system or a metro system because you scan your ticket, faces immediately recognized, gates open, you go in. But like here, everyone's so used to like one person having 10 people's annual passes. And that just doesn't work with this system. And so we're running into that and it's causing big delays.
Danny, I want to show you something. Somebody tagged me on Instagram. Let me see. Or hold on. Josh says, I was there Friday. Every turnstile was using the new scanning system. The process for me was very quick. It scanned my ticket and face instantly. It works well for solo guests. Yeah, like Danny's saying, it's the group. The groups are the ones struggling.
It does. It works amazingly. Yeah.
Look at this, Danny. This is some big news. I want to give a shout out to Scott Gustin. So, Catherine tagged me on Instagram. Previous Haunted Mansion store before Madame Leota's has doors closed and black in the windows and doors. Scott Gustin. Good old Scott Gustin. Do you remember when he talked about this, Danny?
Mm-hmm.
Let people know, man. Let them know. Let them know what. This is actually big news right here. Oh man.
This could be. We don't really know what this could be. Scott Gustin's theory was that this shop, along with the Royal Street Veranda, or I like to call it the Tri-R Gumbo, and then the Pirates of the Caribbean shop. We've been talking about. He was talking about how he finds or thinks that he could see a world where every single one of those is completely destroyed, and it's made into an extended queue for Pirates of the Caribbean, because they need it. I don't necessarily know that that's in the cards right now, Mondo, but I could see it used in the immediate time frame as 3 different things. It could either be just repurposed as a new store, and that's the end of it. I could see it be a a queue put in place for the character meet and greets that happen there, aka Jack and Sally. Because right now people wait in a makeshift tape queue outside of those doors,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really messy. And I can also see it be um, a queue, but just for the wheelchair for Pirates of the Caribbean, because they're also waiting in this like weird tape queue, and it becomes like tape queue next to tape queue, and it's like really messy right there. So I could see it be any of those, at least in the time being. I would love for it to be an extended queue for Pirates, but I don't think that's in the cards right now necessarily.
You know, when you really think about all aspects of Pirates Q is very messy, like everything, even to the DOS aspect of it all. Uh, we heard about the queue going here
Yeah.
at this exact location, but like Danny's saying, maybe they're repurposing it. But the overflow of Pirates of the Caribbean's queue outside into the walkways, onto the bridge, all the way to haunted sometimes, like that is the last thing Disney wants, especially to block pathways. They don't want that. But just wanted to bring it up. This was today. Shout out to Catherine for tagging me on Instagram. Anything else on Disneyland side, Danny? I feel like that's it for me.
No, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, we there is one more thing. We got to bring it up because it's kind of not the best, but at least we're getting something. Um, you sent me a tweet earlier today, Mondo, of what ESPN Zone's looking like.
Oh yeah. Let me bring it up. I forgot about that. Yeah, totally forgot about that. I got it right here, Danny. From Daps Magic. Daps Magic.
Can, can you do that sound effect, Mondo? The wah, 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 wah.
What do you think, Danny? This is looking good or what?
I don't understand. This is a move I don't understand. Uh, I don't know Disney's long term with this building. I don't get the purpose of it. I know there's the building is now being split into three spaces. We know the upstairs space is used for administrative offices within Disney. It'll probably remain that as this new location opens in the bottom half, and then the bottom of the building was going to be used for two different tenants. Um, I don't know like how long they plan on having tenants here or the permanentness of this building. Um, all the brickwork is still there. They just painted it white, so they whitewashed the brick. And then they kept all of the sports statues that are still part of ESPN Zone. They're all there, but they just covered them up with fake temporary fix or what. But the sports figurines, the statues that are attached to the building are still there. They're just covered the way they were when it was the ESPN or when it was the Disney Plus building and they put like all the different shows and movies on the outside of the building. It's the same thing that they just, instead of a movie poster now, it's a picture of the brick wall that's where the stage is to the left. So I don't know. I don't this building's weird now to me, and I don't understand. I just don't understand it. Like Lululemon's a very high end brand. Um, and I don't know how long Disney plans on having tenants in this building. Maybe like this building isn't really permanent, and so Disney's kind of doing this for now. We do know that like the space directly behind it are parking lots that Disney would like to use at some point in the future, and maybe they know things that we don't know about, like how imminent they're using that space in the future. And so investing in something like ESPN Zone isn't really something they want to do because maybe the future doesn't include ESPN Zone, and that building is by. So this is a quick move for now, but I don't know. As a tenant being like Lululemon, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want my store to go in that. But maybe they don't care. They're just at Disney.
We just want to
They're
make that
fine.
Disney
But
money. We just want to make that Disney
yeah,
money. Yeah. This store, it's just, it is weird. It's just a weird store. This store's been through a lot. It was obviously ESPN, and then it became this like Instagram photo ops thing, and then it became this like little merch thing they were doing on the corner, and I don't know. A lot of weird stuff has happened in this store. I feel like it's just cursed, Danny. It's cursed. It's a cursed store. Frankie's Bride,
it's
41
cursed.
months. Always. Oh, damn. Too much purge. Always. Thanks for all the great content, Mondo Danny. Make sure to hit the like button, friends. Is it Halloween yet? It's not Halloween yet. I guess you could. It is Halloween. We got updates happening, so it's kind of Halloween. Thank you, Frankie's Bride. All right, I think we're ready to move on, Danny. I got some big news that kind of came down the pipeline today. I wasn't ready for it, but it's happening. And we're talking about Knott's Berry Farm. Going to the farm. Montezuma, the Forbidden Fortress. Danny, the scaffolding has come down on both sides. On both sides, they painted it green. What do you think, dude? Is it a possibility that this has life? Oh.
Do they just give up on the new one and then they're just gonna like put it back the way it used to be?
Nobody knows, Danny. Nobody knows the answer to that, dude. I have to say I don't know. A very good source has reached out to me and said that track is expected to be added very soon. But then I asked the same question you just asked, Danny. Is it a new track? Is it they're just gonna give up and do the same ride? I don't know, dude. Not. I wonder if we reach out to Knott's if they would give us an answer or not. But I just wanted to put that out there, dude. Montezuma coming to life. After 3 years, it's finally happening.
How was Knott's today?
Oh my Lanta. Did I just make it too big? What'd you say?
How was Knott's Berry Farm today?
I loved it, dude. Very calm. It was just nice. Very nice Knott's today. I enjoyed my trip. I had a blast. Look at this too, Danny. I don't know if you knew this already. This has closed. TGIF permanently gone over there at Knott's Marketplace. I don't know if we've talked about this. I feel like our Knott's Adventure posted about it, but I finally saw it with my own eyes. It's closed. I looked in there. It looks like a lot of the TGIF Friday stuff is still in there, so they haven't like taken it all out. I don't know. I asked one of the workers in the Peanuts headquarters. I was like, "Is there any rumor of what's coming over here?" And she's like, "I don't know nothing." I was like, "All right, guess nobody knows nothing." I just want to throw it out there. Anybody knows anything about this restaurant? Can you reach out to me? I'm excited. Somebody low-key said, Danny, that they think it's going to be a Raising Cane's. And now that we know Raising Cane's is a City Walk, I don't want to rule it out, but whatever. What do you think about TGIF, Danny? Did you ever go there?
I don't. No, I never went there. I felt like this was closed for a while now, but I didn't. I was wondering kind of what would be coming in there. I'd be shocked if it was Raising Cane's because I feel like that definitely directly competes with Knott's Chicken Dinner. I don't know why they would do that. So that doesn't seem like they would want to do that, but maybe they do. I would love personally to see Chili's come in there. I feel like Chili's would just own it right there, like big time. Um, Chili's or maybe even um, like I don't know, something that like people would just love that would. I can't think of anything else because they have some
In
really
and out.
cool things right next. Yeah, In and Out. Our Knott's Adventure says Brewery X. I would hate that, but it would probably do really well. So they're gonna probably put something that's gonna do and bring in the crowds, and Brewery X would do that. It would bring in all the people that want to watch sports and have really good craft beer. Um, so might be the move.
And I feel like Knott's has worked with Brewery X a lot over the years for many of their festivals.
Oh, Knott's Adventure said there's already a Chili's right across the street. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I knew there was an Olive Garden there, and there's like, because I always go to either like Portillo's, because Portillo's is like the best thing, and it's right there next to Knott's, and you can like only get that in this area. I didn't know there's a Chili's right across the street. So if that's the case, I don't know. There's already an Olive Garden. There's already a Chili's, so In and Out would be cool. Mondo's right.
Yeah, I've seen this one a lot too, Danny. A steakhouse. You think a steakhouse? The Knott's crowd wants a steakhouse. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I like steakhouses. I think it could do well. I'm trying to think of like what food would be good there. I feel like a barbecue joint would be good there too. I just don't know that there's. I don't know how much room's in that building. I've never been inside that building. I don't even know how big it is.
It's kind of big. It has an outs. Actually, I took a picture of the outside. Right here. Look at that. Look at that outside space, Danny. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of
Oh
space.
yeah, it's big. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, I have only one option: in and out. I don't even care what the other options are. In and out. That's it.
Mondo's like, I want all you can eat shabu right there.
Yeah. No. I every time I bring up shabu, everybody's like negative about it. I don't know why. I don't know if maybe you've never tried shabu, but yeah, shabu right here. A shabu joint right here at Knott's would go hard. I don't know if the Knott's crowd would embrace a shabu spot right here, but damn, it would be good. Somebody says a king taco. Hash House a Go Go. Is Hash House a Go Go? I think that's from Vegas, right? I felt like it was overrated. If that's the one from Vegas, I feel like it was overrated. Um, Let me see. Is there anything else from Knott's that I wanted to talk about? It's not Knott's related, but it is connected to Knott's. Uh, Six Flags Hurricane Harbor over there at Six Flags. They're having their 30th anniversary, and they're calling it an all new look and feel following a multi-million-dollar transformation. I didn't know they were doing anything like that, especially multi-million. What? This is going to open on May 24th. So anybody wants to visit Hurricane Harbor, May 24th, right around the corner. Also, too, our Knott's Adventure. I know she posted about Knott's. Let me go to it real quick. There's a couple more Knott's news that I want to talk about before we fire it down. What? Gosh, I can't think of the name. What is the water park at Knott's? I can't help.
Soak City.
Yeah, Soak City. I can't help but think of Hurricane Harbor. It's just stuck in my head. The big opening date for Soak City at Knott's, May 17th. That's even closer. So anybody wants to go have fun while it's going to be hot, May 17th, head on over to Knott's. Also, too, shout out to our Knott's Adventure. She posted this on Instagram, and I feel a lot of people had no idea. Where is it? Did she take it down? It was It was like the post about the people serving. I think she took it down. Am I tripping? It's like people that are serving uh, in the military. I think it was. Damn, maybe it was an Instagram story or something. All right, never mind. Disregard. Disregard. The Scary Farm maze. What do the red balls mean? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me show that, Danny. I don't know if you've seen this. This is the scare.
I have. I saw Our Knott's Adventure posted that.
I don't even know how you get this photo. This is crazy. But there's red balls. In my opinion, those red balls are just there to throw people off. Just like they put the devil's den or whatever they called Waxworks. But it would be cool if they do a Christmas maze. I wouldn't be against that. There's still no word on what the heck this could be right here. There's been some early rumblings that I've heard. Somebody said vampire, but with Knott, you really can't guess what the hell they're gonna do. It's all original. It's all original. Oh, the website had conflicting info. We took it down until Knott's emails us back. Okay, thank you, our Knott's Adventure. I was wondering. I was like, I could have sworn it was there. All right, Danny. Closing thoughts on everything, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really bummed I can't do FanFest nights one more night because I would love to go back and maybe I can swing it, but we'll have to see. But there's so much I wanted to do still and go back to that. But if you guys do you have your live streams, Mondo, like as replays for
Yeah, you can watch
people to
them.
watch?
Both of them.
Yeah. Go on Five Fires and watch some of the replays if you haven't already, just to see how fun the experience was. It was a great time. Um, I'm gonna have a video out tomorrow on the night as well too for FanFest nights. It's just a great time. Shout out again to the anime community for coming together and just making it so fun on the upper lot. Shout out to the actors that played all the anime characters. I saw someone in the chat here said that they know some of the actors and they posted stuff on social media saying that they all studied really hard to portray the personalities of those characters in an accurate way, and the fans really loved that. So that's awesome. And shout out to the Universal team, the creative teams who put all that together, because the event was just 10 out of 10. The only complaints I had, we had to just come up with something to complain about, right? There's not really a lot of negative to say about the event. It all seems really great right now, and I can't wait to do it again if possible, or definitely can't wait to do it next year if it does come
Yeah.
back. Since it sounds like we might be getting it come back the next couple of years, but um, at this point, we've got FanFest nights rolling through at least mid-May, and FanFest nights is literally going to end about the same weekend that Disneyland kicks off the 70th. So there's no break for theme park stuff. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pike, and I'm happy that it's going to be a fun entertainment summer, Mondo.
Yeah, it's gonna be stacked. Stacked. We still have a summer event that needs to be announced by Universal, and they haven't done it yet. We're about to be in May in a couple
I
days.
forgot about that. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
what the heck, Universal? We need to know. I'm excited. I can't wait to celebrate all things 70th. The next big thing is Small World. We're gonna get Small World finally reopening. I know the walls came down at Small World at Disneyland. So we're very close. I don't know if they'll do a soft opening. Maybe they do a media soft opening or something, but the 9th, May 9th is the big day at Disneyland for Small World. I'm excited. I can't. It's one of my favorite rides at Disneyland. I love Small World. But overall, FanFest, everybody killed it. I'm in love with the event. Um, I can't wait to be back. I don't know what bigger sentiment you want than that to hear from a fan is. I can't wait to go back. For all the people that bought one ticket, if you really love the event, you could. I'm almost positive you could upgrade to a 2 day, and it's not that much more money to add a second day. So consider that for all the people going for one day. But thank you everybody for joining us. We got lots of big things on the horizon. I definitely want to make my way out to Disneyland. I haven't been in a while. I wanted to go today, but I'm blocked out. No reservations. No surprise. But we'll be back on Friday or Saturday to do another live stream for FanFest. And I think that's it. That's it, man. Awesome live stream, Danny. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you haven't already, smash the like button. But we are firing it down, firing it down. Look at Lee Bay, just as Danny are calling it a day. I'm the main host, Mondo.